There was a time when society held a negative opinion on gamblers, driven by the perception of ill effects of gambling addictions or illegal gambling that harmed many communities and households. While gambling is a vice, it is connected with our society and economy as more than just a form of entertainment. Gamblers were once viewed as degenerates to some degree, or at least stereotyped that way in society. Gamblers were seen as people willing to throw everything they had or did not truly have in order to chase a fleeting chance at financial success. Stories of people losing homes to cover gambling losses, and even worse when bets were made with the wrong types of people. In many ways, people take gambles in their lives without ever stepping foot inside a casino. How many people have taken leaps into a new venture with hopes of going from employee to owner and operator for the hopes of achieving economic freedom? How many people have made risky decisions in hopes of advancing their career or compensation? Many of us have, but it does not make us bad people. In reality, there are many people that enjoy gambling who are not risking the shirt off their back. They just enjoy the entertainment as part of a night out with friends. Many people may enjoy a few rounds of blackjack, poker, or slots, but will not veer away from the pre-planned limits. And some may enjoy gambling, but prefer the other perks like the accommodations or dining available in casinos. Gambling has further connected with our society. As every aspect of society embraced technology, so did gambling companies, which made gambling more accessible to people across the nation. People can gamble on apps, place bets on their phones, and not have to travel to Vegas, Atlantic City, or their nearby local casinos, but still win perks to be used at those casinos. A great way to protect the economic interests of gaming companies. The perception of gamblers has also changed from once being viewed negatively to now being seen as credible and even respected as being able to track indicators for outcomes of future events. This has started in sports, where sports media has embraced the leanings of betting markets to influence commentary and content. There is a saying that the gambling market always seems to find information or is in the know. Not surprising that gaming companies are a major funding source behind almost every content provider on the independent side of sports media, and even the worldwide leader of sports has tried various sports betting partners to work with. Every owner and operator of a podcast has a gaming company ad and major sponsorship keeping them afloat. Now, gambling is even expanding towards what is becoming the prediction markets, where people place bets on outcomes of political contests and almost anything and everything. Companies like Kalshi, Polymarket, and others allow people to feed their need to bet with spot bets. To some degree, we need to determine whether this is a healthy approach. Let us not mistake that gambling is a vice. While some may equivocate it to other things that require some form of prediction, like investing, gambling is a vice. Investing requires some form of prediction, where you have a regulated information environment where one evaluates that information and data to determine an investment strategy, which is usually not just a momentary payoff. While gambling may be highly analytical, investments usually pay off at some point over time. Bets, over the long haul, favor the house, not the bettor. A down day or week for an investment in a typical company usually will be offset over time. For instance, the retreat by Tesla may have caused some economic losses recently, but will probably be reversed once Tesla changes pricing or has a good quarter, affording investors to restore and even exceed their initial positions without any further action or investment. Gambling is more finite as it involves an instant event. We should not fear prediction markets or gambling overall, but we need to understand it is a vice, and people not rationally able to manage it should not be involved. At the same time, gambling may need to have stronger regulatory frameworks on the industry side, as recent controversies may question the integrity of partners in this space, not just in gaming, but the prediction market as well. The downside effects of gambling may lead people to make decisions outside of the betting world that may spread the harm. There needs to be guardrails to isolate and hold the individual or individuals accountable.
The news cycle in sports media has included a number of incidents where athletes and former athletes were involved, with incidents where they were accused of rigging the outcomes of games, allegedly hosting illegal gambling events, or betting on games they were involved in. In addition, we have seen people in government face charges for influencing prediction markets by leaking information or placing bets when the bettor was privy to inside information. For sports, our professional leagues have traditionally taken a strong stance to root out the impact of gambling on the integrity of the sport. Players face significant suspensions and even lifetime bans as a result of betting infractions. Notably, the late Pete Rose, one of the greatest hitters ever, was banned for life as a result of gambling accusations that he admitted to later on in life. Many in the sports media cycle have taken a somewhat soft stance on gambling, trying to portray that an athlete gambling on a game that they were involved in is not so bad as long as they bet on their team to win. But basic ethics tells us that situations where there is asymmetric access to information is fraudulent to the party that would never have access to information that would alter decisions. This is why people in corporate leadership or finance positions are banned from trading stocks during blackout periods. And there is a push to prevent elected officials from investing in financial assets of companies where they have oversight of the industry that company operates in. Otherwise, there is a perceived conflict of interest when no wrongdoing may have occurred. Sports leagues already experience questions from fans, local media, and teams over the legitimacy of plays that did not go the team's way. For instance, we all remember the great memes that claimed the Kansas City Chiefs were getting every call. Funny images making it seem like refs were paid off. While these were clever and funny, the leagues must ensure perceptions out of anger do not become reality. And industries and policy outcomes should not become impacted by a nefarious person trying to benefit from a prediction market bet. While we like to pretend everyone is good at heart, the reality is that there are bad actors and irrational people in the world. And we must ensure that these people are not able to economically harm people in any manner.
The sports leagues are already negotiating with gaming companies to try to address some of the issues that are occurring. And gaming companies are doing the right thing by bringing to light the incidents when they discover them. All parties concerned have a vested interest in ensuring fair play, and that the integrity of the value chain is ensured. In the betting space, regulation, prevention, and mitigation has been traditionally placed on the gaming company. Rational people do not bet the value of their homes, their family's future, or things they do not have. That is irrational. But people are flawed and some are not able to reasonably control the desire to feel a win. For instance, I am more than comfortable walking away from a casino without going to an ATM. I do not feel like I need to chase a win. Other people are not able to do that. I know people who have lost entire checks or have been asked not to come back to a casino. For me, I would be more disappointed if I missed out on a good meal there. But we all have vices that we can control and others that get the better of us if we do not moderate. And moderation is typically left to the gaming company. Because irrational people cannot be expected to be rational. And society has not really found effective ways at dealing with people problems without redistributing blame. I support that leagues need to have zero tolerance for gambling violations. I was a big fan of Pete Rose and as a fan hoped he would be in the Hall of Fame. Once he admitted to gambling, and only did it for profit, it kind of changed my perception. Integrity is important and it is something needed from all parties associated with an organization. The government should have zero tolerance as well. But we have seen that there is a great deal of financial funny business going on. But sports is the last true sanctuary that Americans have to come together, set aside their worries and all the ills of the world, and enjoy competition for a few hours before returning to their reality. Gambling is a vice, but it is a form of entertainment. We need guardrails to protect people and the institution if we want it to continue to have a place. Otherwise it will be regulated out of existence. So there is a need to self-regulate and hold bad actors accountable and adapt.
Rooting out all improper betting will be difficult. Players with bad intentions will adapt as well, placing indirect bets through friends, acquaintances, or others. So it will be a challenge. But it is something that should be the goal. Many times, the simple approach of showing partners and the market that you are willing to find fraud, abuse, and corruption is enough to protect the integrity. Even when there are incidents, a better mousetrap will lead to more resilient mice. But that does mean you stop innovating. There may be a need to track athletes and their households more closely in the same manner than executives of corporations are followed. If there are straw purchases, then athletes should be banned for life and potentially prosecuted for fraud. Same for people who could influence other markets based on predictions. Another approach should also help people understand what responsible gambling looks like. Anytime a person is in a situation where they get emotionally charged, whether it's gambling, an argument, or political events, they may make decisions based on their immediate feeling rather than what they would otherwise. Many times, you need to have guardrails in places so that you do not have to make the decision. It is already in place. Limit your bets or the amount you are gambling. Do not chase losses. The next hand could just dig you deeper. Luck cannot outdo stupidity.